Hello, my name is Ms. Trapper, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of our Schoology math page and what is expected of you to be checking in daily and where you will be completing your work daily. So to get to our math page, when you get to Schoology, you'll click on Courses and then Math. Once you're on this page, you'll first see our Bitmoji Classroom, and you could click through here to either get to our Zoom links, to know our schedule, to go to our anchor charts, or to go to any of these other websites. Also, if I ask you to go to Math Manipulatives, you could click on this and it will bring you to Math Manipulatives as well. Over here in the upcoming is a great way to see what things you have due. As you'll see on Monday, it says Monday spiral is due, Wednesday spiral is due, and on Friday, it shows you have a lot due. But don't worry about that because even though you have all this due on Friday, I give you time in class each day to start working on some of these so they're not all going to be things that you have to complete on Friday. If you scroll down, the first tab you'll see is classroom information, and in here you'll see expectations and different tutorial videos such as this. Next, if you're looking for any different anchor charts or videos or logins, this is the place you could find that. Data notebooks we will be doing only together, so that would be a time that I pulled you in a small group or individually and we review your data. Next is weekly assignments. This is our most important tab. Let's go through it. So I'm going to click on weekly assignments, and you'll only see 1 or 2 weeks. These are just all the weeks I have, but I'll click on this week, for example. So on each day, I post what is due for that day. So there's about 1 to 4 must-dos every single day. So the first must-do for this day was to watch a video. The second must-do was on your own center, the iReady Blue teacher assigned lesson, and the third thing was the Spiral Center. So the first thing I write is what center or what you have to do. The next thing I write is where you can find it in parentheses, and the last thing I write is about how long it should take every student, unless they have extra time or accommodations. Next, I have the may-dos. So the first couple of days, every time, the may-dos are going to be the centers that are going to come up throughout the week. So if you get done with your centers before 3 o'clock, which is still our math time, you should move on to other centers to get them done for the week. Then at the end of the week on Friday, you will earn incentives such as being able to have class time to play Prodigy in order if you got all the rest of your centers done. So these 6 centers, memorize will always be extra math at least twice. If you could play that daily, that would be amazing, but I'm only requiring you to at least play it twice. On your own center is always going to be iReady, and you'll always have to have a blue lesson and a green lesson passed. Notebook center will be different. Sometimes it will be a Flipgrid, sometimes it might be a vocabulary graphic organizer, or sometimes a discussion question. The Explore Center is something that we are working on together in class right then. So whatever standard we're working on, there's going to be some kind of activity for that. And the other part of the Explore Center is also the teacher-led center. So each week I will pull you in a small group at least once in order to work on your next steps of learning in math. Lastly, the S stands for Spiral, which you have to do your Monday, Wednesday, and Friday spirals. And as we know, our Friday spiral is graded. So as I scroll down, I could see that each day has what we have to do. Later in the week, if you guys get done with all of your may-dos, all of your centers, then you could work on different things such as Zearn.org and early finishers. Lastly, on Friday, there's different things that you could do when you're done early, such as Prodigy and iReady learning games as an incentive to make sure you get all these things done. The other thing I write in Fridays is that you must submit your zone's center checklist, which I put in parentheses is in the centers folder. So now let's go back to materials and look through the center folder. So after weekly assignments is centers. So I'm going to click on centers. These are all the centers I just went through on the last page. The one thing I do want to note, in some of these centers, you will see it differentiated by center group. So if you are in the pink, orange, and yellow groups, your folder is always going to be pink, and it's going to say pink, orange, and yellow. And if you're in the green, blue, and purple groups, your folder will be green, and you'll click on that group. And that group is differentiated by what teacher group you guys are in. So if we go back to our centers, the last thing you're going to see is zones checklist. Some of you might see both of these zones checklists, and some of you might only see one. If you only see one, then you'll just do that one. If you see two, you are going to do the zones checklist for extra time. So if you have the zones checklist for extra time, It looks exactly the same as the one I'm about to show you now, but you only have to do the ones that are underlined. So that's the only difference, is that the ones that you are required to do are the underlined ones in this checklist. When you open this up, this will look a tad bit differently for you than me because this is the teacher page, but yours will say assignment and the other one will say my document. So you have to click on my document in order to get to this. I'm just going to click on the zones accountability page and it will pull up for me. So you see zones are the different letters in all of our centers. And when you're done with something, you're able to click and drag the check marks over. So if you played extra math, you could check it off on your list. The green lesson and the blue iReady lessons, I would like you to type your score in. So if you want to type your score in, if you got an 87, you could just type it in there. Sorry about my dog barking in the background. So that's how you do the green lesson. Next, the notebook center. Sometimes you'll have one, sometimes you'll have two, but if there's something that says none, that means just there's none this week. So you just put a check next to show that you've done it. Explore Center, you check those up as well. Make sure you don't check off the teacher table after you just work with me. Make sure you also do the pages I assigned to you at the teacher table. Lastly, you would check off the spiral that you did Monday and Wednesday, and you would type your score in for whatever you got on the Friday graded assignment. They're always out of 10, so if you got a 9 out of 10, that would be a 90, or if you got a 7 out of 10, that would be a 70. If we go back to our centers page, that is all that we had there, except we could also click on early finishers, and in the early finishers folders, it's differentiated by center group, so you could work on things on there if you get done early with your other work. Let's go back to materials, and we'll see homework. I assign homework about once a week, and you'll be able to find it in here. You're supposed to click on the link that is in here, and you should be doing this on a separate sheet of paper or in your math journal, so you're able to show that you've completed all of the work in that homework assignment. The last thing is the makeup work folder, which is the last one down here. After I take the grades for the week, I will assign all of the people who I do not have any work from in this folder, and then you will have 1 week from the day that I assign it in here in order to get credit for it. If you do not do it in here, that means you will not be earning credit for it. I hope this was helpful in helping you find the things in Schoologies and know what you have to do each day for a math class.